Hello, Jeremy.
What's going on, Michael?
Where you been?
Been here. How you been?
I miss you.
Do you?
Did I tell you I miss you? God.
I
I
figured
just
you missed me. I knew you missed me when you asked me if you could just hear me breathe. I knew you missed me then. That's it.
want to hear anything. I just want to hear Jeremy make noises.
I'm here. I'm alive and accounted for.
Jeremy, it is so good to see you. Everyone, 3 weeks ago, we canceled due to just exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then for the last 2 weeks, the man, where you at? The man
Yeah.
has been on a cruise and out of the country. And I cannot do this by myself. I can't even do it with Jeremy, much less by myself. So,
Yeah. About 12 days worth of traveling.
oh, gosh, that's insane. Hello, Bobby Linden, my man. Bobby came by the house tonight.
Bobby's a real one.
Bobby sits out in front of my house and just spins the tires and ticks off my neighbors and then peels off. My neighbors like, "Do you know that guy?" I'm like, "I don't know who he was." 151 Soft Wash, Dwayne the Man, one of the newest members of Exclusively Fresh. Let It Shine Pressure Wash, Skyrise in the house, one of the oldest members or longtime members of Exclusively Fresh. S&H Pressure Washing, John Shoemaker. So good to see you, John. As always, River Valley Pro Wash. What's up, bro? Yeah, Jeremy's a world traveler, Patrick. Anthony, my man. Rich Powers, Cody Smith, Griffin Jones. Griffin, my man. I like Griffin. Y'all don't know Griffin. If you don't know Griffin, you don't know anybody because you need to know Griffin. Cody Smith, Josh Fields, also Exclusively Fresh member. Griffin is Exclusively Fresh member. Bobby is an Exclusively Fresh member. Got a lot of guys in here. Terry Kennedy. Hello, guys. He said, "Hi, guys. Terry Kennedy, my man. Good to see you." So what's new, Jeremy, besides you're being a world traveler?
What's new? What's new? Well, I attempted to make a video today, and I think I shared with you about 45 seconds into it, my phone freezes and said, "You were out of space." Here we are. I actually had an inkling to make a YouTube video because I haven't in, I don't know, a month. And I guess I took so many pictures and videos while I was gone, I have no space. And now I've got to go through and delete all of them.
Well, that's the beauty of Facebook. You can use Facebook as your photo album and video album for all of that. Then you can delete it from your phone.
Very much true. Very much true.
FBI surveillance van. That scares me. That guy right there scares me. Hello, Parker Johnson. Hey, tonight we are going to be breaking down the concrete wash that I did a week and a half ago in downtown Cincinnati. It was an all-night wash. We'll be giving all the specifics of it. Jeremy, were you able to capture the photos that I sent you to your text? Did they come through?
They have. I haven't done anything with them yet, though.
If you could possibly, after you do your magic over there, if you could upload those so that we could see them. And here's what I want to ask you guys to help me do. I want you to tell me how much you would charge for this concrete wash. We're going to spend some time tonight just talking about this, answering questions if possible, kind of giving the scope of the work, breaking it down, not talking about taxes and insurance and all that stuff, but really just the wash itself. And then at the end, I will tell you how much I charged, and we'll see if we were close. There are no prizes, so don't get too excited. But we're going to have a good time with this. I do miss you, Jeremy. I'm glad that you're back. I've missed the podcast. I am hanging out tonight on the veranda right here at the Wash Mahal. and it's kind of nice out. Got the pool over on this side. Got the shop over here, the old shop. Got some Nilla wafers right here in front of me. Nice glass of milk right there. And a heart full of love for my brothers and sisters in the Wash community. Good to see you, Parker Johnson. Good to see you, Bright Power Wash. And Cody Smith. Always good to see you, my brother. Yeah, no prizes. So I've got some fun stuff going on right now. Patrick, Lord have, I'm sorry, I just about called you Patrick, bro. Yeah, I almost called you Patrick. Golly. Are you out of here? Did you just leave? I don't blame you.
There's worse things to be called, I guess. You can call me Charles Henry.
You come back here, young man. You can call me Al. You just don't call me Charles Henry. Call me anything but Charles Henry. But yeah, it is good to see everyone tonight. It's just a party. We just have a good time and answer some questions. You might have pressure washing related questions, life related questions, and we're here to help if we possibly can. One love, my man. This is a Tahlequah Zod Gaming. Okay, I think you're new to the group, and we're glad you're here.
So I have some bad news.
Okay, I'm all ears.
My phone is so full. I've got 2 of the pictures you sent me, and that was it.
Okay, that's why it was kicking them back.
Yeah.
Well, you can post those pictures, and I'll talk everybody through it if at all possible.
Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up here.
Patrick Johnson just texted me and said, "You can call me Ray, you can call me Jay, but you can't call me Mr. Johnson." Okay.
That was his daddy.
Weirdo. That's a weirdo. All right, so what we're looking at on the screen here, this is obviously the front entrance, and this is the valet parking area. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say about 3,000 square feet of concrete here. I think I'm pretty accurate on that. Now, the problem with this is that it's extremely greasy. I had to use a considerable amount of sodium hydroxide beads, and not a lot. I mean, I downstreamed it and it came up nice. Didn't get any callbacks, so apparently they're happy with it. And so you can see that there's a couple of islands there that you cannot see. And I am parked on the street side. So just to the far right of me is the actual downtown street. So this is the largest hotel in Metro Cincinnati. So downtown Cincinnati, right across the street is what's called Fountain Square. That's where all the action is. This is done at night. I think I did it on do it on a Thursday night. It took me 6 hours. I'll repeat some of this so that later on throughout the evening, people who come in can hear this. The whole process, meaning all the concrete areas, not just what you see there, but we'll have some other areas that you'll see here in a moment. The whole job took me exactly 6 hours. I showed up at 10 o'clock and I left at 4 o'clock exactly on Friday morning. So here you see the valet parking, and if I say that each section took 2 hours, that's not exactly accurate. This took the longest. Probably 2.5 hours to do this because of cars coming and going, having to pre-treat with the sodium hydroxide. I went over everything probably twice to make it look nice. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. We'll try to answer any questions. No, gum removal was not in there. In fact, thank you, Bright Power Wash. I actually put it in the concrete that gum removal was not part of the process. Okay, so what you see here is the very front of the hotel. Now, this does not show nearly the concrete that was cleaned, but a few caveats here. This is 3,700 square feet of concrete. You can barely see any of it right there. I just wanted to get this because I thought it was a nice shot. Off to the left is Fountain Square. So if you think of Times Square in New York City, this is the Times Square of Cincinnati. So, but this is Thursday night, not a lot going on. There were a few prostitutes kind of walking by, several homeless people, and but the beauty of this particular portion of the concrete job is this was a marbled tile, 3,700 feet of marbled tile. It cleans very easily. There was no pre-treating. There was no post-treating. There was simply walking across it with my 31-inch Mini Mondo and one trip across everything and then a rinse right out into the street. So a lot of police traffic here, so I felt very safe. Again, it's a hot spot in downtown Cincinnati, but it's a Thursday night, so not a lot going on. Everything's closed for the most part. But yeah, and then what you will not see, because Jeremy isn't able to pull up the pictures, is there's a back alley that I washed where I did have to ask one homeless fella if he would leave just for about an hour or so, and it took about an hour to do that. And but it cleaned up nice as well. And the sad thing is, this back alley that you can't see is where the homeless they kind of habitate there day in and day out, and they urinate, they use the bathroom back there, they sleep back there, and it smells terrible. So obviously, you know, I got in and out of there as quickly as I could, but still doing a good job. So what I'm asking everyone to do is just to take the information that you're given and kind of give an idea. What would you charge for this job? And then at the end, I'll tell you how much I charged. It took me exactly to the minute 6 hours to complete this job. 3 times the daily minimum would be my price, says Bright Power Washing. Maybe there are others. Guns and Hoses PW says, I'm a newbie here. How much insurance is everyone carrying? 1 million. Most people, most insurance agents are going to, by default, give you $2 million of insurance. So that's probably what you're going to get. Yeah, Mary, Josh Fields says, Mary said it looks like a good cover for an album. It does. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Good idea. All right. Anybody else got questions? Between $2,000 and $3,000, probably 2,500. That would be between $2,000 and $3,000, but probably between 2 and 3. Okay. So here we got Josh saying between $2,000 and $3,000. There are others who are going to chime in. Feel free to ask questions so that I can kind of give you a better idea of exactly what you're looking at here. Rich Power says $4,000. And Griffin Jones says, will you ever get a zero turn? No, probably not. I just don't do it enough of that kind of work. Probably not. I don't even mow my own yard, so I would. Well, Jeremy, you got sick on your trip. Why don't you tell us about it?
I did. I did get sick. So everyone's thinking about a price. Sorry, I had a guy message me wanting a quote, so I was taking some information.
Well, there you go. Good for
Sorry.
you.
I was like, well, let Mike talk here and I'll write these down. That way I don't forget it.
Leave it to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got sick, man. So this was we left we flew out Friday morning. So I left Thursday. So the reason we didn't do a podcast Wednesday is because I was packing Wednesday night because we were leaving Thursday morning to drive to the airport.
Right.
And I live nowhere near an airport at all. We drove 3 hours to get to the airport. So had some great pizza up in Louisville at Bear Nose. I think
Bear
it's what it's
Naked?
called.
Was
Not
it
Bear
Bear Naked?
Naked. Bear
Okay.
Nose. Yeah. Anyways, really good. Good pizza. Thick. Not really deep dish, but we asked for cream, and it had 13 pounds of Supreme on each slice. But anyways, we flew out Friday, and we flew from Louisville to Chicago to JFK up in New York, and then from JFK straight to Athens.
Nice.
And let me tell you, man, I've flown a few hours each time, and then the longest flight was probably I've ever done was Seattle to Charlotte, and that was like a 5.5 hour flight.
Okay.
It was not bad. This was totally different. This is the biggest plane I've ever been on in my life. I think that set 10 people across.
Wow.
There was like 3, then 4 in the middle, then another 3. It's a pretty big plane.
Yes,
And
sounds like it.
it was like a 10-hour flight. So I was tired. But anyways, yeah, I got sick. We spent 2 days in Athens. And then Monday, we got on the boat. And about midday Monday, I was not feeling very well. I was like, man, I'm out in the sun and I'm freezing.
Wow.
I slept from about 3 o'clock in the day to about 10 o'clock the next day, and broke sweat, sweating and crap. So I don't know if I had COVID. I don't know if I had a flu or sinus infection, what I had, but I felt bad that whole day. And then I didn't feel great for like the next 2 days. I feel good now though. All is well.
Can you see me, Jeremy, on the screen?
I can.
Okay.
It's hard not to.
I'm trying to find. Oh, wow, bless you. Trying to find a picture that I just now uploaded.
Uh-huh.
And I'll figure this out. Give me just a moment here. You go ahead. Yeah.
But I will say, has anybody on the show tonight or on watching have you guys ever been to Greece? So I went to Greece. That's where I went. I went to Athens, and then we took a cruise and we went to Mykonos. That's the first place I didn't go. I was sick. Then we went to Santorini, went to Crete, a little island called Patmos, which is the island that St. John was exiled to when he wrote the book of Revelation.
That's right.
So I got to see the St. John Monastery. That's about 1,100 years old. It's pretty cool.
Sounds like it.
Went to a little place in Turkey. You may have heard of it, called Ephesus.
Yes.
Yeah, a little town called Ephesus. A couple thousand years ago.
Couple of thousand.
Something like that. Yeah, seen some pretty cool stuff there.
Love it.
Very nice. I'll tell you what I enjoyed though. I did enjoy the Greek culture to a point. I like that most people were friendly. I didn't care that most places didn't have air conditioning. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I did like some Euros and some Savaki. I like that. Had some Greek coffee. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Well, bleach sprayer, I probably might. Was your sister on the same cruise as I was on? My goodness, that sounds like a good time I went through. I had a great time. Let's see here. So I got back Monday night. Spent a day in New York. Had some New York pizza, which was excellent, from a little place called Nolita's over in Little Italy. Let me know if you had that. It was real good. Anyways, got back, and I've been washing all day today. I'm tired. I have.
Awesome.
I had a big haul today. Did 2 houses, 2 driveways, 1 gutter cleaning, and then what's that? What would you call that? Like a home care facility that does like beds and braces and walkers and diabetes shoes and chairs. Like, yeah, they sell that stuff. I don't know. It was a storefront. It's a big store. I went and did that at 6 o'clock this evening and got done around 8:15. So I made it
Okay.
back home to talk to you guys.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very
Look,
nice.
I think we got a new feature here, Mike. Have you seen this? I say, okay, yeah, let's see that. All right, guys, drop me some comments down below, or drop a comment. Let's see. I'm trying to see. There's a feature that says that we can bring you guys on the stage, like the comments, and I'm trying to see if that's working. Unless Mike might be messing with it.
Well, I've got a picture on the screen here. We're just revisit this concrete cleaning job real quick. This is in front of the building. See that kind? This is obviously a wet concrete, but this is the kind of tile that I'm talking about. It's like a slate tile that cleans super, super quick. You just have to run the pressure washer or the surface cleaner rather over it, and it comes up perfectly clean. I thought that might be a good picture for everyone to see. I'm gonna throw up some extra stuff here as I'm able to. Let's see.
There we go.
This is a good one too. This is a good one. You pull this up. It takes me just a few minutes here to.
Bless him. He's technically challenged.
I am, but I'm learning, aren't I?
You did it. You did it.
I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Someone said something about picking my brain. Where are we at? Where'd this go? I want to pick Jeremy's brain 5 minutes, about 6.5. Does he book calls? Could I cash out $50? Okay.
I love it. I love it.
I'm not really book calls. I don't know. I don't really know what I could tell you. Drop the question here. You can always cash out $50. I mean, every one of y'all can if you want.
Yeah, we won't at least.
In fact, I mean, right here it is. If you want to do it, go ahead.
It would be wrong to. Wrong. It'd be almost criminal to turn that down. Here's a good one. Here's a good one right here.
Yeah. I hope that Cody. I mean, I'm going to be busy for the next 6 days. I have no time. I'm totally booked for 6 days straight. So if you want to shoot me a message on Facebook, maybe we can connect next Wednesday or something like that. Did you get your other picture pulled up?
I'm trying.
I'm going to tell you how I do it because I'm not overly technically savvy. Is you text me a picture, I then text that picture to my Facebook self. Like I send myself a message on Facebook with that image and just download it on the computer.
I like that. Here's a pretty good picture of it. My truck would have been parked over to the right. So that's the street on the right. You can see how clean that comes by just simply pushing the surface cleaner across it. It's real easy. Now I'm gonna try to get one of the alleyway. See if I can find one real quick. So that's going to be key. I'm sure I've got some pictures here somewhere of the old alleyway. Maybe.
For to see. Can you guys see the comments on the screen like that I can see? I feel like this is supposed to be new, and it's keeping up pretty quick. Kind of curious.
Okay. I'm seeing all the comments. on my end.
Okay, power wash. Yeah, yeah. Do you guys like that? Do you guys like that you can see what other people are saying, so you can kind of see the conversations as well? I mean, it's just a toggle switch. If you don't like it, we can turn it off. I thought I'd throw that up there and see how that looks. Second delay,
Okay.
roughly. Okay, okay, okay. Three. Says only 3 watching on Facebook. I don't know how many people's watching on Facebook. I'm showing 0. Something happened with my Facebook and it was not connected, and then I tried to connect it, so I don't know if it's actually connected or not.
Well, I wish I could help you there.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, Joey Smith, he's watching it, so Vulcan's there.
Well,
I mean, obviously we have been off for 3 weeks, so some things may have gotten disconnected that needs to be reconnected on the app side.
well, it's struggling to bring up this picture of the alleyway, and it's actually a pretty good one. So it says there was an error with your file. Please try again in a little while. Well, I will try that again in a little while, but in the meantime, somebody asked if it was 3,700 square foot total. No, I don't have an exact number, but it was 3,700 feet is what you're looking at on the screen now. Then another 3,000. So now we're talking 6,700, and then probably another 1,000 or so. So we're going to say, let's just say 4,700, or excuse me. Now that would be, what do we say? Yeah, about 8,000 square feet. About 8,000 square feet. Now, a couple of things that you might want to keep in mind, because this might help to drive up the price. What do we say? 8,000 square feet.
8,000 square feet. You're up at 9. You're dealing with hoes and homeless.
You didn't have to say it like that.
Oh.
Oh my God. You're talking about some people who are very desperate to provide for their family. How about that? But yes, there were some prostitutes that are walking around, but let me tell you, they're not hitting on me. They're not hitting on me. They're not hitting on the
this guy's out here cleaning. He ain't got no money.
That's right. So we're going to say 8,000 square feet. There were some prostitutes walking by, and I did have to ask some homeless people if they would kindly just move for a little while.
So real quick, can you talk about your hose management on this job?
Hey, pimping ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. I'm sorry, guys. We are going to pray at the end of this. We'll be praying for him. Yeah, praying for Jeremy is what we're going to do.
Yeah, please do.
Let me turn my lights on. There we go. So here's what happens. The price goes up, when it's at nighttime. I got to wash all night. Now, that day, I had washed 2 houses and a small apartment complex. I then came home. Well, actually, I went to my granddaughter's kindergarten graduation for a few hours altogether. Came home, crashed for a few hours, then went to Cincinnati. That was a 6-hour job. So it was at night. That's one. It's in Cincinnati. You heard me correctly. Cincinnati. That's 2. And I did not carry a weapon, but it probably would have been warranted. That being said, lots of police presence. I did not at any time feel in danger.
Since you were watching at night, you were not the fresh rinse. You were the fresh pimp.
Fresh pimp. That's exactly right. Pimping ain't easy. All right. So Skyrise says 2,800. Ricky Balcazar says 3,700. Dwayne Smither said, I changed my number to 4,800. Now, here's what you need to ask. Don't just think about what I would charge. Ask yourself, what would you need to do this job? It was a 6-hour job. So how much would you normally make for 6 hours at night? You got to just kind of think of it like that. By the way, no breaks here. The only breaks that I had was to move my equipment because I was leaving. I got done at 4. I got home at 5. I slept for a few hours, then got in the vehicle and drove for a weekend vacation. So it was exhausting. Christopher Henson says 2,500 to 3,000. All right, very nice. Bleach sprayer says $6,400. 6,400. All right. Anybody else? All right. Let me see if I can upload that picture one more time here.
Bless him, Lord.
Hoping this will work.
How is everybody's wash season going? Let's talk about that while he's trying to figure this out. How you guys doing? How's June going for everybody? Everybody having a good June? Everyone having a good June?
Talk it up, Jeremy. I'll be right back.
Yep, I'll try to do what I can. 13, 14, 18, 25. See my price. I'm open to suggestions on pricing here. Crazy busy. June's picking up. Best year. Hey, that's awesome, guys. We're having a pretty good June as well, even though I haven't done anything until today. Today's the 11th. I literally done no business until today. But it looks like the rest of the month is going to look real good. So I'm hoping July is going to be great too.
Good. Yeah, June was good. June was good.
Chris, not looking for your numbers, just how many. What are you talking about, Chris? Elaborate on that one for me. Wash season's on fire. June fully booked. July, sweet breath. That's awesome. Josh, did you get all those Sonics? Let me know. Been staying busy. We bought a new trailer. We're building that out. We stripping parking lots. Nice. May has been the best. June is slower. Picking up, that's fine. May for me was weird because we had tons of rain, and it really just kind of business was there, but business kept getting postponed. So maybe that's why June's looking so good. Carpet cleaning's off the hook. Last week was banging. This week a bit slow. Well, it'll average out. Bleach sprayer, it always averages out.
Right. It is really good to see everyone. I miss being on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, this was great. I've missed it. I've missed looking at Mike. I'll tell you what, though, I wish I'd had my sunglasses on. I was just ill prepared, so my apologies.
Ill prepared.
Ill prepared. But I do have some news here in a few weeks. I'm hoping to have a special guest on that I think will be bringing some fire for you guys. And we'll be talking about some SEO for Google My Business and reviews and the importance of that and how to make that easy for you. Got something going on behind the scenes, and we'll share some information with you guys when we can. 8 Sonics, Buffalo Wild Wings, Fazoli's, trying to get a few more Sonics in Kentucky and some Popeyes chickens. Nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, though, Tyler, you're talking about helping other companies in the area. Money's money. That's true. I tell you what, I closed a job that was on a deadline when I was gone, and I couldn't do the job, but they accepted my bid. So I just subbed out one of my buddies to go do it. And I said, hey, this is what it's for. This is how much the job is. How much will it cost you? And he was so kind. He said, well, I'll do it for this. That way you can keep some of it too. And I was very thankful for that.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Christopher Henson, you said, is this a question that you were asking, not looking for your numbers, just how many? How many what? What? Be a little bit more specific there. Maybe we can help you.
He said go a couple above that.
Okay, here we go. Mike, just curious. How many lines do you break down monies from jobs? Example, profit, payroll, taxes, operations. Oh, my goodness. A lot. Because it's so, I don't know, off the top of my head, we're looking at obviously all of our expenses. When I break it down, I literally break it down to how much fuel that I used on the job, taxes, insurance, how much SH did I use on the job. Let's see. Some of my exclusively fresh guys can help me out here. We're talking about retained earnings. We even talk about charity, because 10% of all of the profit goes to charity. So we look at that as well. There's a lot to be broken down when you talk about payroll. Is, for me, is just profit, right? So payroll and profit would be the same thing. So profit would be anything after all of the expenses. So we talk about business insurance, Jazzy insurance. There's a lot to talk about. Apologize for not getting that earlier. Didn't see it. Who's I love Van Sage. Oh, that's good. That's good. My neighbors are wondering why I'm laughing so hard. I said we give 10% to charity. He says, who's charity? Don't forget about Destiny. That was two of those characters that walked by on right. You can see them walking right there. Charity and Destiny gave him 10%. God, I hate this guy. I absolutely hate him. Classic. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing on that one. Very little in the house tonight.
Brother Little.
Darren Keith says $3,600 for that job. 6 hours, guys, is what it took for this one. So how much would you charge for that? Let's just say 6 hours, 6 straight hours of nonstop surface cleaning with a little bit of sodium hydroxide mixed in there from time to time. At night in Cincinnati. Evan Polly says, what's the job? Are you getting late into the room tonight, Evan? We're talking about this downtown Cincinnati concrete job that you see on the screen, which what you see is the front of the building. Now you see the valet parking, another 3,000 square feet or so. And then there's an alleyway that I cannot seem to get to upload tonight. We're going to try it one more time here. If we can't get this. Ow, that's not working. No, it's not going to work. I'm going to see if I can't send it to you and see if you can get it to work, brother.
Can you send it to me on Facebook Messenger?
I might be able to do that.
If you can do that, I can make it work.
Okay.
We can make it work. Has anybody bought any new equipment lately? Anybody bought any of those new P40s? If you remember, I built that flatbed for a guy, and we put one on it, and it's doing really well. I keep seeing people posting about how they're loving it. And actually, I just recently took my old janky P40 off that I couldn't stand and put on an AR-45 that was sitting on the shelf, and I'm loving it. It's going great. Anyone else got any new stuff? I bought a Ready Wash system. If I had enough money, I'd buy one too. Unfortunately, I'm just putting things on that's been sitting on the shelf for 2 years.
Evan Polly says P40 or MoFlow?
Cheap shot.
I like this guy.
Evan, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess it depends on if you got the money. You're talking about, I don't know what a P40 is going for, man. Like the one we bought, Electric Start P40, got it from Casey when they come out. I think it was $1,700 plus.
Thank you, Jeff.
Shipping for like $200. And a MoFlow, if you have to buy everything for a MoFlow, what is that, Mike? About $8,000 or $10,000?
I think it's 9 to 10,000 everything.
if you buy everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know.
So FZ6 Rider says the MoFlow is too powerful, uses a lot of SH. Well, you can always,
here's the problem is it's not that it's too powerful. You just got to learn to wash different. Same thing with the gas proof pump. When you go from a 12 volt to a gas proof pump, you have to wash different, man. Like you got to wash faster. I don't know how to explain it. It ain't downstreaming.
It's definitely different.
Like, I bet the cheap shot, like if you don't wash faster with the cheap shot, it's probably the same thing.
It is. Yeah. And what I've learned with any gas powered machine, you have to trust it. You have to trust it. If it says 3, assume you're shooting 3%. You may or may not be because it's not an exact science, but just assume that you are. And if you're shooting 3% on anything, then you're putting a lot of chem out there. You can't just sit there and look at it like you do when you're shooting a 2.3 injector downstreaming. You just can't lay on it and just hang out around it. You got to move. That's what it's all about. So with the MoFlow, or really anything, but certainly the MoFlow, with as much power as it has on a residential job, just washing a house, if you were so inclined to do so, you can pull that bad boy back, and you just don't feel like you got to shoot it 60 feet in the air. That kind of pressure, tone it back. Same thing if you're washing a roof. Like I saw Joe Deary a while back washing a roof with his MoFlow, and there was just no doubt about it. He was using way too much. By his own testimony, he was shooting way too much chemical. You just have to tone it back, but it's a learning process. Christopher Henson says, I bought an 8 GPM this year based on Mike's setup. Glad I spent the money, but hated to pay $4,000 on credit for it when I'm part-time. It's half paid for now.
You won't regret it. Brad, I know that it's upstreaming. Did I say downstreaming? I think I was talking about using a P40 or a MoFlow is different than downstreaming. You got to move fast.
You actually said 12 volt. That's okay.
Go to bed, Charles. Go to bed.
Please go to
bed. Your bedtime. Go to bed.
Use the bathroom and brush your teeth before you do, please.
It's okay, Charles. I'm alive. I appreciate it. I'm here. Glad you are.
I'm not sure what that is. Does anybody know what that is? Spencer Clay's soft wash system. Mine shoots about 40 feet. Okay.
I don't get in this. No, I don't.
I don't know what that is.
He's a Facebook guy or a marketer guy. I don't know what he is. He brushes roofs. That's all I know.
Mike, I watched your video on the injectors. Now I understand better. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you watching.
Dave, I seen your comment about a water-fed Poe. I'll shoot you a message here in a minute. All right, man. Did you send me the picture?
I did. It's on.
Oh, well, yeah. You should have said something. I'm zoned out. I'm in the groove here.
All right. So you're looking at the valet parking. I had to deal with cars coming and going there. We're going to say that's 3,000 square feet. Then this right here, we'll show another picture of it. That's a little better picture. That's another 3,700 square feet. And then we had an alleyway, which was just there we go, right there. Now, what you're seeing is the sidewalk that's probably 6 feet across, 6 to 7 feet across. And then on the right, where you see all of this, you see that river. Well, that's the alleyway. A small car could get through there. I didn't clean that. I only cleaned the sidewalk. And then, Jeremy, you can see those steps up at the top of the screen. That's where the homeless sit. That is actually above that. Up those steps is an entryway into the hotel. that you can't enter or exit as a pedestrian. And they stay up there and they urinate all in through there. So it wasn't a big area, but that was probably, we're going to say another 1,000 square feet of concrete. So now we're at about 8,000. I don't think there was 9,000. We'll say 8,000 square feet of concrete there all together at night in Cincinnati. What do you charge for 8,000 square feet of concrete? Brandon Smith says 3,000 to 4,000. Evan Polly says 2,500 to 2,950. 2,500 to 2,950. And here in just about 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you what I charged. Anybody else? Feel free to throw up a price there. Now, don't try to guess just what I would charge, but what would you charge for that and feel comfortable doing it? And by the way, I'm going to say this, Jeremy, real quickly. Cody says 2,900, and then Lynchburg Pro Wash says 2,900. Bubba says 1,000 or $1. Not sure. All right. John Shoemaker says, Mike, did you know going into that you didn't need chems in that tile area? No, I did not know that. That's a great question, because I think what you're asking me is, did I factor chems into that? And yes, I did. And I did not need chems. Did not need chem on that front area. Fixed Addict says 3,100. FZ6 Rider 07 says 2,250. John Shoemaker said, exactly. I read your mind there, didn't I? Doubling down on my 6,400. You're really going to charge $6,400. Okay, hey, that's great. Listen, I said earlier, I'm not going to criticize anyone's answer, whether it's $99 or the $6,400. Not going to criticize your answer, but don't guess, but try to, what would you charge for this job? 8,000 square feet of 6 hours of constant washing. Jason Garrett says that's $3,500 for sure. Tyler Parton says, don't think about P. Plus 1,000. That's true. You gotta consider all of that. Guns and Hoses, not sure what that means. Mike, 25,000 or 25-gallon tank, 5.5 and 100 feet of hose. Not sure. I may have asked.
The soft wash thing he built.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Okay. I see, said the blind man. FZ6 Rider 07 says 28 cents per square foot. Brandon Smith says 3,000 for sure. Michael Devin, I'm gonna guess at this one. Michael Devin Cinzi. Interesting name. Pretty cool. $2,500. All right. So I got some interesting news, Jeremy. I got a new shop. I don't know that I've talked to you today. I talked to you earlier today, but I don't think I've talked to you this evening.
You haven't.
So they called and I got the new shop. So I went and 2 days ago, I went and toured a new shop. It's larger than the one I have by about 1,000 square feet. It's 10 minutes from my house as opposed to 25 minutes from my house.
Okay.
It had central heat and air, much lower ceiling, so heats up quicker and AC quicker. Let's see what else. It's a nicer facility. It's nice and fresh and clean, and I hope to be moving into it in about a week and a half. Very excited about it.
You're moving into it in a week and a half?
I can move into it on the 21st, but I have a church meeting on the 21st. But so anytime after the 21st, I can move in.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. You got that right.
Yes, we do. So, how are you gonna move all that bleach?
I'm going to get rid of the bleach before I go. I'm
Okay.
going to go on. Let's not. I had 1,000 gallons. I'm already down to about 400 because I've had several people come and buy from me. So, um,
There we go.
yeah, it'll be
There
all
we
right.
go.
It'll get gone soon enough.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that, brother. He said, congratulations on the new shop. So here's one's been kind of looming out here. I did a church last year with about 10,000 square feet with a 4 GPM 20 and 20-inch surface cleaner. Took me 48 hours having to clean in small time windows around their daily services. I understand. Charged 3,800 and they were glad to pay it. Very cool. Very cool, Christopher.
Oh yeah, I like that.
John Coverig says $1,800. Bright Power Wash says, congratulations on the new shop. Are you breaking a lease or month to month? Currently, I'm month to month. The new shop will be a lease. Brandon Hodge.
Commitment.
Brandon Hodge has a very good looking cheap shot. Hey, fellas, just made it. Finished my commercial work with the cheap shot. Yay! Yay. Fantastic.
That's that. Is it the one that's pink? Was his pink?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me send that picture to you.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one on your video.
You mean to send me a picture?
I did. I want to talk to you about that when we get done.
Okay. I'm gonna send you a picture of his cheap shot. I want you to throw this thing up here. This thing is bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Oh, we have the new remote systems, by the way. If those of you who have bought a cheap shot or are considering a cheap shot, let's see. There you go. Throw that bad boy up there.
Got a thing there. Let's see here. Got it down there.
His cheap shot just turned out so sweet. Ron Musgrave's in the house. Ron, we are breaking down a wash. Let's get your thoughts on this if you're still in the room, Ron. So there's Brandon Hodges' cheap shot. That thing came out shiny sweet, and he just finished his first commercial job with it tonight. So very, very cool. Very cool. Ron Musgraves is in the house. We're breaking down a wash for you tonight, Ron. This is a night job in Cincinnati. It took 6 hours. Not just this. What you're seeing there, Ron, is the valet parking at Cincinnati's largest hotel. We did this last Thursday night. So that is the valet parking, about 3,000 square feet. What you see here is about 3,700 square feet of slate tile, no chemicals, just running the surface cleaner over it and rinse. This entire project took 6 hours. And then there's an alleyway where I did the concrete there as well. This whole job was a concrete job, so all flat work. And so this is an alleyway between two hotels. Had to politely ask a couple of homeless people if they would come back in an hour or so. So yeah, Ron, we're talking about the price. How much do we charge for 6 hours of flat work in Cincinnati? Not elevating the price. We're not elevating the price based on ego. We're giving numbers here that are legitimate because we're trying to help people. How much do we charge for a job like this? Some have said $3,700. Some said $2,500. Someone said as low as $1,800, and someone said $6,400. So the prices are all over the place. And here in just a few minutes, in fact, right here in just a minute, I'm going to give my number for what I charged. Anthony says $3,200. Charles Henry, was it you alone or multiple people? It was me by my lonesome. 6 hours by myself. So yeah. Ron says 3,800 and 1,250 monthly. Oh, by the way, thank you, Ron. They do want me to put them on a quarterly program for the valet parking. So this area here will get washed every month or every quarter, excuse me. That's a great point, Ron. Thank you for mentioning that. Ha. So here's a great question. Sorry, Ron says 1850. I think he's talking about the quarterly. And then Guns and Hoses says, Mike, did you negotiate a few nights stay for free in the price? I should have. It's a nice hotel. It's Cincinnati's largest hotel. 1850 quarterly, Ron says. Figured that's what you were saying. All right, well, we're at the top of the hour, and we're going to pray here in just a few minutes after this helicopter gets past me. Can you hear that helicopter?
I can.
Okay. So we're going to pray. Anybody's got any prayer requests, go ahead and throw them up here. After this helicopter passes me, I'll tell you how much I charged. Okay, before we close out, one more time we're going to go through this. This is the valet parking, 3,000 square feet-ish. We did the alleyway here. I'm going to throw out another square footage of 1,000 square feet, counting the steps, and it goes beyond what you see there, beyond the steps, and quite a bit behind me that you're not seeing, but you can see how dirty this was. And I did not do the roadside, which is right there where that looks like a river. I only did where you're watching or where you're seeing the surface cleaner. I'm going to say 1,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet, something like that. And then the entranceway, the main entranceway, and this was all slate, stone here or tile, and that was an easy clean. 6 hours at night from 10 p.m. exactly till 4 p.m. exactly, moving the vehicle a few times, asking a few homeless people to go away and come back a little bit later. And we're going to, okay, Michael says, say a prayer for my grandma. She's in the hospital. Absolutely, Michael. We're certainly praying for your grandmother. Ron Musgrave says, plus compactor work if you need to make that not smell. Read my blog. Okay, thank you. Wand Wizard, if you'll message me, I can get you into a cheap shot tonight. I can get you to buy one tonight. All right. And then Brandon Smith says, please remember me in prayer. I'm having problems with one of my organs, please. Brandon will absolutely be praying for you. All right. Trevor Francis says $4,235. Okay, you guys ready? Jeremy, are we ready?
Yeah, if you're ready.
I charged an even $6,000. So it came up to $1,000 an hour. And that's exactly how I had priced it. I took in consideration all things in consideration. I was actually thinking, I actually told them that it would be about 8 hours. I finished in 6 and I charged $6,000. So that was a pretty good night.
That was a great night.
Thought that might be a good one for us to break down.
That was a great night. And I think, best my memory serves, the closest to that price was Bleach Sprayer.
Yep, 6,400.
He was at 6,400.
But he went over. You can't go over.
Let's say the price is right, Bob.
If this for the price is right, you can't go over. I did use some Kim on the valet parking, some sodium hydroxide beads. How long did it? Josh says, how long did it take you to come up with a quote? Did you come up with it immediately, or did you have to calculate it? Let's take just a moment and just talk about how we came up with a quote. Josh is an exclusively fresh member, and I want to answer this question. A couple of things that I considered was the fact that when the guy called me, he said, "You're already in our system." So apparently, I've watched other buildings in Cincinnati, and they may have the same owners, but nonetheless, I was already in the system. And the guy told me, "I don't dick around with prices. You tell me what you charge. I'll sign it, and we need to get this thing going." So in my head, excuse me, in my head, I itemized the price of each section, and it came up to $6,000 plus tax. By the way, $6,000 plus tax. So I did factor in chems, which I did not use much of, and I actually factored in a few more hours than what I actually used, and so I actually came out ahead on that. I was thinking 8 hours. It took me 6 hours. It took me 6 hours instead of 8 hours because that area that you're looking at right there, as I said earlier, it required no chems, and it required one lap across everything, quite honestly, at a pretty brisk pace. I had to keep up with the prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? They were chasing the fresh. You can imagine, Jeremy.
I figured that would have taken you a couple extra hours.
Walking so slow. You
Well,
can't catch me. Nothing to see.
Charity.
Destiny Charity. Woo! Oh God, that's killer. Oh, that's great.
That's great, man. That's good haul, brother.
Tyler says, "Is $1,000 an hour your house washing price?" Good God, I wish.
That's how much he charges for a phone call.
That's my phone calls are $1,000 an hour. How about that? So Patrick said that's $1.33 per square foot. Appreciate that.
That's great. That's great. Let's see.
All right.
Bing, bing.
Josh, it did not take me long to come up with that price. They needed that quote quickly, and I did measure it out with Google or with my program, which is MeasureMap Pro. I measured it out just so I could let them know how many square feet it was. And I wanted to be close to that $1,000 an hour. I think I was probably like $900 an hour, and I got done quicker than what I thought. So it felt good to have that. I pulled it out of my butt. I did. I'll just be honest with you. And that's not much help to everybody, I know, but
we need the exact science, the exact math.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to John Wayne it, man. You just got to do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to gunsling it, you know?
Yeah. See, then you're thinking something, a lot of these guys been out here for $1,600 and hating life. I wouldn't have, you ain't beating me to go do nothing for nighttime for no $1,600.
Not that much work.
I might go turn a spigot on, but I ain't doing anything other than that. Not that much work.
You didn't see Destiny. Yeah, but you didn't see Destiny and Charity.
I don't need to see them.
Josh says, "Did you quote it in person?" Yeah, I did. I went and looked at it in person and then quoted it through my Markate app. But yes, I did go and do that one in person.
Josh says he has to John Wayne everything. Sometimes you do, man. You just got to do it, and you're like, "Dang, gone, that sucked."
I like what Cody said. I know who I'm not calling. Fact, bro. Fact. Oh God, $1,000 an hour. You better not be calling me. Oh, jeepers.
Yeah, his legs did help him. Ain't that the truth? They sure did.
Yeah, baby. All right, just reading through some of the comments, and we're going to pray. tonight.
Hey, this there's so much truth packed in this comment right here, Eric. You're 100% correct. 100%.
Yeah, it is.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. It really is. There's just so many unknowns. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, but you never lose if you go into it with the expectation you're going to learn something from it. All right.
Well, my friend, do you want to close us out in prayer tonight?
I would love to close us out in prayer. I want us to remember a couple of people super quickly here. We're going to pray for, forgive me. Brandon Smith says, remember me in prayer. I'm having problems with one of my organs, please. So we want to remember that in prayer. And then Michael says, say a prayer for my grandmother. She's in the hospital as we speak. So let's do that. Brandon and Michael.
Oh, and real quick, I had one that I thought of and I wanted to mention it, and I'm trying to figure out where's this guy's name at. Talk for a second. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. Yeah, so we got the new remote control system. We launched that, was it Sunday night? And I cannot keep up with the orders. I'm very, very pleased by that. And I want to thank everyone for your interest in that. And it's a solid product. Goes right along with the Cheap Shot, and very excited about that. And then moving to the new shop, we have a big announcement. Once I get into the new shop, I have a big announcement for Ready Wash Systems that I believe ultimately will eclipse Cheap Shot and the remote and the hose reels and all of that. So very excited about that. I really appreciate everyone's interest. And I know we're not going to get into it tonight, but there's a lot going on social media now concerning some vendors within our industry. And it's all a flash in the pan. This too shall pass. In my 11 years, I've seen a lot of drama, and it all plays out. And then, it's like kids on the playground. They end up talking again, and, it all works out. But my hope for Ready Wash Systems is to be humble, to grow, but be humble. And I need prayer for that, because I will tell you this, Jeremy, you know this to be true, that something happens when you go from serving to selling. Yeah. There's a word in there. There's a word in there. Something happens
Serving
to our
is greater than selling.
Yes. Something happens in our spirit when we move from serving to selling. And I see it. It seems there's only a hand. John Hall is humble. I will tell you, and I shouldn't be mentioning names here, but I will tell you that FlowPro, Judd West is humble.
Yeah,
and there are others. I shouldn't even be naming names. But what happens? Something happens when we go from serving to selling, and I don't want that to happen. I talked to Patrick last night on the phone, and I was like, dude, you got to keep, or not Patrick and Bobby Linden. I was like, guys, you got to keep me in check. I need a checkup from the neck up. If you see me getting inflated, I need somebody to poke a hole so that I can be deflated. But I appreciate you guys very much.
Well, take your legs out, son.
Brother, no, don't break my legs. My legs is what keeps me busy, bro. My legs is what gets me money.
So let me share this. I want to share this. I don't know if you guys seen this. I saw this the other day, and I felt led to give. So I gave a donation to this guy, but he's a fellow washer. I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but it's in Ron's group, Facebook Pressure Washing Friends. This guy's name's Brian. Got diagnosed with leukemia, and he's one of us. He's the breadwinner, and he's going to be out at a minimum of 6 weeks in the hospital for treatment.
Wow.
So do as you please, but I'm dropping in the chat the link for the GoFundMe. If you feel led, you can find this guy in Pressure Washing Friends. Anyways, we need to pray for him and his family.
Okay. So Michael, Brandon, and Brian.
Yeah.
Praying for Michael, Brandon, and Brian.
And also, someone dropped the name. Dwayne Smither requested a prayer request for his son Travis, who needs a kidney transplant.
Oh, wow.
So
Absolutely,
pray
Dwayne.
for
Travis. Okay. Michael, Brandon, Brian, and Travis. All right. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, it is with a humble heart that we come to you tonight. We know that just the mere fact that we can pray should bring us to a great spirit of humility. The fact that you would allow us to join in conversation with you. It's one thing to talk to our fellow washers and our friends and family, but to know that we can touch heaven is it's extremely humbling. It brings about a certain fear of you that is necessary in order to approach your throne of grace. But we do so with great cheer in our hearts and joy, knowing that you not only desire to hear from us, but that it brings you joy, that we would pray and that we would converse with you. So we ask, Lord, tonight that you would bless our fellow washers and their families as we go about, and our desire is to provide for our families and to be good citizens and to be contributors, to be problem solvers, to have more of a solution than we do the problem, and just be good people for your glory. We prayed tonight for Michael, as he has asked a special prayer request for Brandon as well. And then Brian has asked for prayer tonight, and then also for Travis. We ask God that you would do great things in their lives. You know every situation. We don't have to spell it out. You already know what it is. We just lift them up and ask God that you would do great things in their lives according to your will. And Father, as we continue to wash, as we continue to grow, may we be of benefit to our brothers and sisters in the wash community. We ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. Catch us next week. Peace.
Peace.